once again, this is Dr. Phil Fernandes, the pastor of Trinity Bible Fellowship, the president of the Institute of Biblical Defense, and the professor of apologetics and religion for Veritas International University. I'm also the vice president now for the International Society of Christian Apologetics, and you could sign up for that and become a member. And it's the true evangelical scholarly society that really does defend biblical inerrancy. We could use subscribers to the Phil Fernandes Show. We'd appreciate that. And we're talking right now about signs of Christ's return. We looked at Matthew 24, and there's other passages as well in the book of Revelation, book of Daniel, Zechariah, and 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 1 to 11 or 1 to 12. And so some of the things that we should be looking for is, number one, the regathering of Israel to the Promised Land. That's actually been going on since the late 1800s. And of course, in 1948, Israel officially became a nation. 1967, they reunified, took Jerusalem, took control of Jerusalem. So this is going on as we speak, the regathering of Israel in the Promised Land. Many Jews from all over the world are moving in. Another sign of Christ's return, increase in natural disasters, whether they be earthquakes, tidal waves, tropical storms, hurricanes. And there's a big debate about whether or not they are on the rise or not, but I've seen a lot of data that seems to indicate that they are. An increase in famines, increase in diseases, an increase in wars and rumors of war. Now with the internet and global communications, the whole idea of the rumors of war can be, the Cold War, look at the Cold War, that was just one big rumor of war. And but we see the increase in wars and rumors of wars. A big fallacy, we think that the United Nations, with the founding of the United Nations, that we've kept peace. Well, there hasn't been a global war since it started, but there's been probably more wars since the United Nations started than probably all the years before it. It's been pretty bad. Also, an increase in lawlessness. Now we see abortion on demand, infanticide, euthanasia at times, even here in America. The sex trade, the slave trade, whether for sexual or for labor reasons. Homosexuality on the rise, immorality, violence, drug abuse. And so we see a lot of lawlessness right now. We're watching our rights erode here in America. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, innocent till proven guilty, that type of thing. So an increase in lawlessness, man's love growing cold. Again, violence, abortion, euthanasia, democide, death by government, genocide, when governments seek to wipe out a whole people group. And so man's love seems to be growing cold, and now we're even looking at political. When you have a political enemy, just slander the guy or the gal, and just it's guilty till proven innocent, and that certainly is man's love growing cold. So something to keep an eye on. Mass inflation, according to the Book of Revelation, it's going to be a horrendous amount of money just for a loaf of bread. Mass inflation, last day mockers, they're here. They've been mocking Christians for an incredibly long time. False Christ, false messiahs, false prophets, guys who claim they speak for God, but in reality do not. An increase in technology and an increase in the speed of travel. The book of Daniel talks about those, and it's amazing how small this world is getting at the speed at which we can travel from one part of the world into another part of the world, and then the increase in technology as well. I think once we get to the point where God says now nothing will be impossible for man to do, which he said at the Tower of Babel, well, God intervened and he stopped the building of the Tower of Babel. And I think we're going to see that again. We're going to see another intervention by God. The next intervention by God, according to the scripture, seems to be the second coming of Christ to the planet Earth. When we start talking about animal-human hybrids, when we start talking about cloning humans, when we start talking about all sorts of godless things, And I think that we're getting closer and closer. The increase in technology, the increase also in man's destructive power. I think that whatever destructive power man has had in the past, he's always eventually used. And we've got enough destructive power, whether through nuclear warheads or through chemical weapons or whatever it may be. We've got enough destructive power to destroy this earth numerous times over. And it seems to me that by the Lord's second coming, the days will be cut shortened, according to Matthew 24. Otherwise, no flesh would be saved. And so those are just some of the signs. We'll look at a few more signs of Christ's return in the next episode. Please subscribe to the Phil Fernandes Show. Visit our website, philfernandes.com, and that's Fernandes with an S. It's Fernandes, philfernandes.com. Also, just go to Amazon.com and do a search of my name, Phil Fernandes, Fernandes, and we've got books and booklets that I've, about 3 or 4 pages of books and booklets that I've authored, and then you can check out Veritas International University. I also teach locally here at Shepherd's Bible College, but we'd love to work with you and help train you to be a good, solid Christian apologist so you can defend the faith. And visit our website, philfernandes.com. Check us out on Sermon Audio /IBD, and sign up, subscribe to the Phil Fernandes Show. Thanks and God bless.